Imagine this. You've spent your life climbing a mountain, chasing success, identity, love. And when you reach the top, you realize it's the wrong mountain. The life you built feels hollow, like a costume. A whisper rises. This isn't who I really am. Carl Jung suggested something radical. The first 40 years of life are preparation, not the real journey. We build a persona, a mask to survive society. But around midlife, the mask cracks, the applause fades, and the soul begins to knock. That restlessness you feel, that ache no achievement can fill, it isn't failure, it's a signal, a summons to begin the second half of life, the journey not of becoming someone, but of unbecoming what you're not. The mask and the soul. From childhood, we're shaped, praised for some traits, punished for others. Slowly, we construct a self to fit in. Jung called this the persona. It's useful, even necessary. But over time, we confuse the mask for the soul. And then comes the weight. Not aging, but suffocation. The soul buried beneath decades of performance begins to rebel. Friendships fade. Work feels meaningless. Your reflection looks like a stranger. Society calls it midlife crisis. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming whole. Crisis or calling. We think breakdown. Jung saw breakthrough. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This descent isn't punishment, but preparation. The shadow, your denied fears, grief, desires, rises not to destroy, but to integrate. It's messy, but sacred, because individuation requires dismantling the false self so the authentic one can emerge. Why now? Viktor Frankl observed, man's deepest drive is meaning, and meaning often awakens in suffering. Midlife brings limits, time, loss, mortality. It forces the question, not what do I want to do, but why am I here? Modern culture fears this stage. We glorify youth, dismiss aging. But in ancient traditions, the midpoint was initiation. The warrior became the mystic. The provider became the seeker. Jung saw this transition as essential. The ego built in the first half must be transcended in the second. The soul's rebellion. If ignored, the soul grows louder. Through illness, depression, addiction, failed relationships. Not punishment, but summons. What you do not make conscious will rule your life, and you will call it fate. You may numb, distract, chase younger dreams. But none of it works because what's broken isn't outside, it's within. The self you built can no longer hold the truth that wants to emerge. The real work. True growth isn't more construction, it's deconstruction. Not becoming more, but remembering more. Not performance, but presence. Jung called this work individuation, integrating the conscious and unconscious, reclaiming lost parts of yourself. And it begins with descent. Into the shadow, into the pain you've avoided, into the fragments you exiled. Because inside that darkness is gold, a different kind of power. As illusions collapse, something new stirs. You stop asking, what do I need to do? And start asking, who do I need to become? You begin saying no to what drains, yes to what nourishes. You stop chasing approval. You stop pretending. You start trusting your own resonance, that quiet inner yes. Wholeness doesn't mean perfection. It means nothing is exiled. The child, the rebel, the mystic, the skeptic, all welcome. Healing isn't a goal, it's a homecoming. Awakening, Jung wrote. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Not the self others demanded, not the mask you wore. The true you, untamed, whole. And once you taste this truth, you can't go back. You become dangerous to the status quo, not by resisting loudly, but by refusing to betray your own soul. Your presence itself becomes medicine. a reminder that authenticity is possible. The threshold. So if your first 40 years were rehearsal, know this: it wasn't wasted. It built the container. But now the mask must fall so the soul can rise. This isn't a crisis, it's a return, not to who you were, but to who you've always been. Beneath the noise, beneath the striving, beneath the fear. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not late. You are right on time. And this second half of life, the descent, the integration, the wholeness, this is the real journey. The one your soul has been waiting for.